Hey guys, welcome back. If you're new, my name is Max. Thank you so much for stopping by. I super duper appreciate it. And I know I'm looking atrocious right now. Um, all these holiday sweets and crap I've been eating has not been nice to my skin. I've been breaking out like crazy. But I did notice over the holidays, I've had a lot of family members ask me, like, how I learned to do my makeup, how it's always so cohesive with my hair, and like, I just keep getting like all these questions on my makeup every time I see my family and friends, and they're like, I just don't know how you do that because every time I try, it comes out like this, and like, we sit there and talk about it for, like 30 minutes straight. And it was multiple people. It wasn't just like one person. I was getting asked like every function I was going to. So I was thinking, I have a hair in my mouth. Got it. I started watching YouTube because of makeup, and I wanted to start a YouTube channel because of makeup. And I had some questions like, oh, you have a YouTube channel. And it's not something I really talk about with my family because I think that it's like weird and embarrassing to like watch someone I don't know, it's weird. Especially when I'm like the only person in my family that is makeup enthusiastic. Like everyone I know like doesn't wear makeup or doesn't know how or anything like that. So they're like, "Oh, I saw you on Instagram. You have a YouTube channel and I should watch and really learn how to do what you do." And I'm like, I was thinking about it and I was like, I don't actually, I talk a lot about unboxings, I talk a lot about favorites and stuff like that. And I was like, I actually need to do my makeup way more than I do on this channel. So maybe some people out there that are watching who have no idea what they're doing can get that sense of something that I had when I started watching YouTube. And I was like, oh, I like how they do that. I'm going to try it. And then I sit there and practice it in my bedroom. So I am going to just do my makeup. So if you guys are into that, I love watching people do their makeup. I don't see many makeup tutorials like on YouTube anymore. I think that it's kind of changed. So I'm going to try and bring a little bit of that back. Our makeup styles might be very different, and who knows, if you are an expert at makeup and you love it too, just like I do, and that's why you're watching this video, you probably know how to do your makeup. You have your own way of doing something, but I generally just love watching people do their makeup and watch what color stories they end up using, or maybe learn a technique that they use that I don't, and it's just an interesting thing to watch or even have in the background playing while you're doing your makeup or doing something in the kitchen, because I know that's when I usually have my YouTube going. So yeah, let's just try this out, and I'm just gonna do some makeup and talk you through of what I'm doing. Okay, so I like to start with my eyes because I'm quite messy when I apply my eyeshadow, and fallout happens and cleanup happens, or sometimes you don't like what you're doing and you want to wipe it off, and that way you're not ruining, everything that you put on your face, because that's always fun. So I'm going to start off with an eye primer. You can use eye primer or concealer. I just got this one and I've only used it once, so I'm going to use it again today. This is the ABH eye primer. I just got a little sample of it with my points, so I'm going to give this one a go again. I just used it, I think it was 2 days ago for the first time. And there's like barely anything in here, so it takes a minute to squeeze out what they did put in the bottle. It is it goes a long way for what they do have. A little bit goes a long way. So you can use your finger or a brush. I'm lazy, sometimes I just slap it on, no rhyme or reason to it. It just sets a base for your eyeshadow to stick to it. So sticking with the ABH theme, I'm going to use my Soft Glam palette today. I figured I would just do something simple. I'm only going to the grocery store today, getting some errands done, so I'm just keeping it simple. I wasn't in the mood to be all crazy today. So when we start off with our eyeshadow, everyone's always like, well, how do you know what brushes to use? I had no idea what brushes to use. I barely have an idea of it now, but this one is really fluffy, and you normally start off with like a bigger, fluffier brush that'll really just set a base, and this is called a blending brush, and it blends. Okay, I'm not gonna be good at this whole explaining thing because honestly I don't know the lingo myself. So I'm just going into the shade Tempera, and you kind of want to start off with a shade that's basically your eye color and just kind of set your eye primer or concealer or whatever you use, because this gives the next shadows something to blend into. A lot of people call it transition shades if you watch people do their makeup. So you just set it on down, and then you take like a next step up for another transition shade. So you would normally stick with something close to your skin tone again, or like a light shadow, which would be either like orange soda or burnt orange in this palette. So you could even do like a rosy color. It depends on what you're feeling. And honestly, I go into doing my makeup every day not having any idea what I'm going to be doing. I just do it. Like whatever shadow calls to me in the moment, that's the one I use, because that's what makeup is about for me. It's all about, playing around and expression and whatever I'm feeling. So I'm going to go into orange soda. Same brush. And then instead of going all the way up to the brow bone and everywhere, just take it right like in, I guess, the crease area. And just kind of circular motions and back and forth, blending it in, blending it up. You almost go all the way up to your brow, but you leave just the slightest bit of space to keep your brow like highlighted and different. And then you can just keep going in, light hand, heavy hand, until you get your desired shade or whatever you feel like looking like, you know? Yeah, I'm not good at this. So now I am changing brushes, and here, let me compare them for you. It's still like a fluffy brush, but it is less of the size of your normal like blending brush, and normally people call this a crease brush, and this one actually says crease on it, so sometimes they're helpful in describing brushes for you. But now we want to get a little bit darker, going into exactly what our crease of our eye is. So it would be this area right there. Let's see what calls to me. Okay, I'm going to go into the shade Rustic. And a cool trick that I learned, I don't even remember where I learned it, if it was a video or in person, but if you hold your brush up, normally people will tap their brush off on their palette. I do that too sometimes, but if you hold it and tap it like this with the brush up, the shadow actually falls into the brush and it holds all that pigment, so you're not wasting the shadow as much as you would when you tap it off and all that stuff falls out and flies everywhere. Just a little trick. Maybe learn something new today. I don't know. I did. I thought that was really cool when I saw it. So just in the crease, you're gonna go along, swiping it back and forth, making some dimension in your eye. Really doing your eyeshadow is all about blending and making it look cohesive. So like you don't want anything too, I don't want to say dramatic, but stuff that doesn't go with the flow, I guess. Because I like dramatic. So you kind of just work with it until it feels like it's going together. And then say you don't like how dark it is or you did too much, go back into your crease shade with your blending brush and buff it in to where you put that, did I say crease shade? I meant like the transition shade, whatever, with the blending brush. I don't remember what I said, but just buff it out, make it blend, because that is honestly the process of eyeshadow. It's something you really gotta kind of put some effort into. So when you have the crease the way you want it, then you want to go to an even darker shade. So I am going to take Cypress Umber, which is right next to Rustic. It's an even deeper brown. And I'm going to use the same crease brush. And I took too much. You just want a light touch of a dark pigment because it usually goes a long way. And then we are just putting it in the outer corner, blending it upwards into the crease a little bit, but only about halfway, not all the way like our last color. And then just buffing it into everything. See the difference? And then the same thing on the other eye. We are going to go in with a shimmer shade for the space that we left open on our lids. So I normally like to use my fingers because those apply shimmers the best. I'm going to go into Rose Pink because that's what's fancying me right now. So I just take it on my finger and then I dab it on my eye where we left our space. And then once you apply your shimmer, you can take the brush that you just used without applying any more pigment to it and go in over where you just put that outer corner shade and, you know, try and buff the two together so it's not like a harsh line. I feel like this light I have is so bright, you guys aren't really able to see that too well, but I'm going to go over with my shimmer an even lighter shimmer shade in the, here I'm going to use my pinky because I want to put it just in the most inner corner of the lid to give it a little more oomph. And then I'm going to repeat the same thing on my other eye. Okay, so now if you have your upper lids looking the way that you want them, we are going to take what I take as a handy dandy baby wipe, and I just wipe out anything that fell out on my face, and I clean up the edge of my shadow so it looks a little more sharp at the edge, and I just get all the excess that we don't want. So before we are going to do our lower lash line with any type of shadow or liner or anything, we're going to do our face base first. But before I do that, if you are a winged liner person or an eyeliner person, we are going to put some of that on. So that might take you a while to learn. I knew for me it was like an everyday process of putting it on, taking it off, putting it on, taking it off. It was so fun. So I just grabbed my Kat Von D tattoo liner because in my opinion this one's like the easiest to work with. It is just a, this is a filter brush. It's a brush tip. So I don't know, you just draw it on and it's really easy to use and it's a good formula. So here we go. Just start. Oh, I'm going to talk before I do it or else I'm going to mess it up majorly. Just line your lash line. Now, this can be just like this. You can make it thicker. It's whatever you're feeling. And then I do the outer corner, kind of like make a triangle, and then you'll see. So just like that, and then I fill it in. And then sometimes I try to make the tip look a little more sharp. And then I bring it down. And then I notice like if I have like uneven bump or anything like that, I will go in and try to even it out so it glides in a nice form. Alright, once I'm satisfied, I'm going to move on to my other eye. So that's how I do it. Alright, if you're anything like me, one of them will end up looking thicker than the other, and no matter how many times you try to fix it, it'll just start looking worse. So we just ignore it and we move on. So now we are going to start on our face. So normally people use foundation. I'm going to use my tinted moisturizer, but I'm also going to use my primer, which is my favorite at the moment, which is the Milk Hydro Primer. And yeah, it's just a tinted moisturizer, so you don't technically need a primer, but I always like to because I feel like it just makes it last a little bit longer. And this one's really hydrating, so it helps with all these dry patches and stuff I get around my mouth, which are not cute. I have a buzz. Oop, cap fell off. So I just take a little bit, rub it in my hands to spread it out like such. And then I start in my driest places, which would be around my nose, my mouth, and in between my eyebrows. And then whatever I've left, I just rub around. And this product doesn't make my face red, just me rubbing my face makes my face red. Because I don't know why, but my body's weird. Okay, so then I wipe my hands off, and then you're supposed to let this sit for a minute. And then after it sits, I just take my Dr. Jart Beauty Balm, and I use one pump. And I literally do apply it the same way that I apply my primer. Yes, you can use a sponge or a brush, but you know, I'm real fancy and I use my hands. I just feel like with my tinted moisturizer, when I use my hands, the texture just looks so much better. It doesn't like sit on top of my skin, it like absorbs into it. But with foundation, I'll normally use a brush or a sponge. So after that, you can go in with whatever type of concealer you want, and I'm just going to use my Pot 1 by NARS, and this is in the shade Light to Vanilla. This one dries down matte, and you only need a little bit. So whenever I am on the go and like I don't feel like setting my makeup or anything like that, and I just feel like doing the basics like I'm doing today, I use this one because I don't have to set this. It just, I blend it in and I'm done. And again, I am using my finger. I know, I'm so fancy. But I feel like this is real life, guys. Some people, you know, do things better or use, or I don't know, everyone has their own thing. For me, I'm human, I'm in a rush, I use my fingers. I think that they really melt the makeup into your skin and just looks better for certain products. And then I will go in to whatever acne spots I have and dab them in to try and cover those up because they're not cute. Normally I won't use this concealer on my acne, but I did not grab a different one. I will normally use like a less matte, like one that you probably would want to set, like a creamier one, just because I feel like it covers it better. This one kind of doesn't have as much coverage on acne. But I'm not in one of those moods to care today about how covered my acne is. I just need a little something. If it pops through, it pops through. Alright, now we are going to move on to my glorious eyebrows. Because they need to be put on. My natural brows are just, they're not cute. So, whenever my hair is colored like it is now, I mean, it's really faded and I need to touch it up, but a color that's not, you know, brown, I like to use my Coastal Scents palette because it literally has every shade you can think of. And I take this, just got eyeshadow on my shirt. Okay, I take this Like, the handle, the paint's coming off. This is really old brush. I don't even know what brand it is. But you just want one that's no thicker than your eyebrow. You want it to be the size of your eyebrow, and this one's kind of rounded, and I've been using this since like high school, so it's a little old, but it's my perfect brow brush, so I can't get rid of it. I haven't seen one exactly like this, so I'll probably replace it at some point, but I just gotta find the right one, you know? So I just take this, I call it my blurple color because it's like a blue purple, and I tap it off, and I just start at the arch of my eyebrow, shaping it the way I want to. And yes, my eyebrows are blonde, so this is probably easier for me than someone with dark eyebrows. I don't know if this would cover or not, so there's always that. You might have to like lighten it with something first, but I always use eyeshadow whenever my hair is colored because there's obviously not a ton of brow products out there that are for unnatural colored brows. So I find that eyeshadow works the best and looks the most natural. But basically I just run it through however I like. And just like my eyeliner, they never, you know, are twins. So then I take my ABH clear brow gel, but I'm sure you could take whatever clear brow gel you have. And I just brush them up and brush it through because it makes them look even more natural by adding those hair textures up into your brows, and it also helps the shadow stay in place all day. But yeah, that is how I do my brows when I have colored hair. To me, it's super simple. I've been doing it for a very long time. Yep, that's it. Now we're going to work on our lower lash line. Whenever I do my lower lash line, I like to take a little baby brush like this one. And I'm going to start off with what we used in our transition, which was our orange soda color. And then this one I take like the whole width of my lower lid, and I just go along it. And then I take the deeper shade that we used in our outer corner, which is Cypress Umber, and I just want a little bit on the brush, and I will get it right up on my lash line. And then I don't go all the way down like I did with the orange soda shade, because the darker shades, if you just do them on the outer corner, if you have small eyes like me, they open them up more and make your eye look bigger. More precise, if you are wanting to, I just take a black liner. This is my Urban Decay 24/7 Glide On eye pencil, which I love their eyeliners. I think they're great, and the lid's coming off. And then I just literally take this on my lash line and do the same thing I did with the brown and not go all the way over. And then if I think it's too like bold looking, I just take that brush I used and smudge it out. We're getting close to the end, guys. Alright, so the eyeshadow process is done. This is how they look. Now we are going to go in with blush. Since I'm just doing a really natural face look today, I'm going to go in with my go-to natural blush, which is my Benefit Dandelion. And I just use the brush it came with and I tap off all the excess. And then I just zhuzh it back and forth on my cheek. Just blending it in. And then I also like to take it on my nose and sometimes up here by my forehead just to bring a little bit of color. But it just kind of gives you that like flushed look in your face so you're not looking like a ghost. And then we are going to go in with highlights. Again, just going to use a natural one today. So I grabbed my Mary Luminizer by The Balm. If I could find my highlight brush. Oh, found it. There it is. Which is just a Farrell one. It's just a small one, whatever fits like in this area of your face. So I'm just going to take that. There's like a hair in my stuff, of course. And then I just pop it on right here at the tops of the cheeks. So it just in the light, you know, kind of makes you look like you have higher cheekbones, basically. Just a little something. And then I also put a little bit on the tip of my nose and down the bridge of it. Kind of, I don't know, gives it a little bit of illuminating, slimming effect. And then mascara. I have a new one to try today. I literally just got it as a sample, so it is the Stila Magnum mascara. And the freaking packaging is thick. Does that big brush too. Woo. It's kind of, it reminds me of the Damn Girl by Too Faced. But it's like thinner at the bottom and thicker at the top. So let's see how it goes. Honestly, I think I like it. Sometimes I'm really picky when it comes to mascara. And I'm not a fan of their other one. I think it's called like Huge Mascara or something. But it like is really clumpy, and this one's actually really nice. It doesn't clump and you can play with it. Which is like my biggest thing with mascara. I wish it lengthened a little bit more. But I'm loving the volume and the kind of like faux lash look that it gives you. Like it almost looks like there's falsies on. Yeah, I ended up liking it like a whole lot more than I thought I was going to. Just because I'm not a huge fan of their other one. I think that's called the Huge. It's in like the gold bottle. I recently got the new Fussy Gloss Bomb. I've only ever had the original one. And I also got a Makeup Forever nude lip. Maybe we'll do this one. But I just got some samples and stuff recently. I had gift cards for Christmas and bought some stuff. This one is like super creamy, super pigmented, and it does come off throughout the day. like pigment will come off on stuff, but when you look at your lips, the pigment's still there. It's like, it's crazy. It's so gloomy today. I really wish the sun would come out. It's been so blah lately. But this is, what shade is this in? Bluff. Yeah, 03 Bluff. Just a little Makeup Forever sample, but I really like it. Super creamy, super thick. And somehow it like transfers, but it also lasts on your lips. Don't know how, but it's magical. I'm gonna throw a little bit of Fussy on because I haven't used it yet. I freaking love Fenty glosses so much. I don't know how she does it. Her makeup is so good. I have not tried her eyeshadows, but I have not heard good things about them for the reviews that I've seen. And I saw that she just came out with new ones, so I'm kind of waiting for the reviews to come up before I'm like, do I need that? Because I know that all of her other makeup is usually on point, and then when it comes to her eyeshadow palettes, they're always like, nah. So, this is it, guys. I hope that you had some type of enjoyment, maybe learned something from this video. So, that is all I have for you, and good luck on your makeup journey if you are starting one. If you have a channel, leave it down below. I will check you out, and thank you so much for watching.